Good evening. Welcome. We have our Village of Austin work session today, June 14th. It's
Yeah,
about.
no,
I'm looking at the wrong thing.
legislative meeting.
I'm a week ahead. Okay.
I'll
I'm
already be
reading
back.
right off of this thing and without my glasses. It's a regular meeting and we have three of us are in person. Dana, Trustee White and Deputy Mayor Lopez are calling in remotely. And we're going to start with the pledge and go into the meeting. Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Trustee Fritchie,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Lopez,
Present.
Trustee White,
Present.
Trustee Casada,
Present.
and Mayor Levin.
Present.
We have a public hearing tonight on the local law amending Chapter 250 Vehicles and Traffic of the Village of Austin Code. Do we have anyone that would like to speak on that?
I can't,
We do not have anybody in the gallery.
nobody in
Okay.
the gallery. Okay, and there's nobody here.
You want to?
So do we want to, we might be able to close the public hearing if there's no comments
We
on
can
it.
entertain a motion to close the public
I
hearing.
have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Is there any comments from the board on this topic?
I have none. No.
I'm seeing no. Okay,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mayor and trustee announcements?
okay, so the first and foremost is I hope everybody is staying indoors. That includes all humans and pets. The air quality is really, from what I understand, one of the worst in recorded history in this area and in New York City. Although it's supposed to lift by tomorrow afternoon. I debated whether to write something about it. I saw the county executive did, but truthfully, I think you just have to look outside and realize it's sort of, the air quality is bad and masks are recommended. Somebody pointed out a few minutes ago, the irony of us having to always have worn masks indoors. Now we have to wear it outdoors, but the good news is that many of us have masks, which years ago, I don't think anybody was walking around with masks. So I hope people stay healthy because I was downtown today and I could say that it's it's tough breathing out there. So I hope that's working out, and I hope that it all lifts in time for our village fair coming up June 10th. I always forget, but I think it's 10 to 5, or is it right? I always want to say 9, but it's actually 10 to 5. It's always a wonderful event in our community. It brings out everybody from here and miles around. Come hungry, bring lots of cash, although they take credit cards, bring your appetite, your thirst, and let's support our local businesses. But there's also a lot of different community organizations, and we hope you stop. And many of us will be down there. Some of the village staff will be down there. We are going to actually have a village presence to discuss with residents, get feedback, but answer any questions about the DRI initiatives and any of the comments that the public has will be very welcome. But any of our projects, but certainly any of our DRI projects. Are you? Oh, that's all right. And I will be announcing about tomorrow's meeting at 6 p.m., but are you going to be talking about that? Okay, so I'll leave it to you. We don't need to be redundant here. So I hope also, I wrote in my mayor's message, lots of Juneteenth activities around the town, around the village, and other neighboring communities. Really cool stuff going on. I'm going to be going to something at Star of Bethlehem on a Sunday. So I don't want to, it's always tricky, like which ones do you promote or not. So I don't want to misstep here, but please look at the local social media events. The county's holding a whole bunch of events as well. Enjoy them all. And also it's Pride Month. We had a wonderful flag raising for both events. Lots of activities going on for Pride Month. Those groups really are super welcoming to families, children, everybody can go to these events. Highly recommend it. And I think that's it for me, folks. You said you don't have? Okay. Folks over here on that I'm looking at, Omar or Dana, do you have any? Okay, I'm seeing nods of the head. I do want to say something. I want to thank trustee Dana White. She has asked the board a couple months ago to do a placemaking committee. We have just had such an outstanding outpouring of resumes, interest. We've met new members of our community that neither of us had met before, which is unusual, actually. All ages, all backgrounds, new residents, old residents, et cetera, et cetera. We've got a few more to go, and then we'll inform the public when we're done with interviewing. Dana and I were interviewing here today, so it's been terrific. We have such interest. We're very excited about this new committee. So just wanted to do a shout out to Dana and her idea really coming to fruition. Lots of projects going on, but this is one of the newer ones. So I just wanted to keep that front of mind. Okay, I think we're ready to go.
Okay, administrative reports, village manager Karen DeTore.
Thank you, Clerk Donnelly. uh, We certainly were concerned about the air quality due to the Canadian wildfires here. A lot of our staff is working outside. We're trying to make sure that we continue to do that work, but we also want to make sure we protect the health and well-being of our staff. They've all been provided N95 face masks, and we are minimizing to the degree possible the work that they're doing, especially strenuous work and non-essential work that's typically done outside. We are monitoring the situation day by day, but right now we have not made any adjustments or canceled any services, outside services. We will keep the public apprised if we have to, but hopefully we will not. But again, we want to make sure that everybody is safe and that they remain healthy. So it's was a bit of a challenging day.
I just, if I may, not a question, but a comment. I was walking around downtown for a few hours earlier today. I got to tell you, they were putting out mulch. Looks beautiful. Place was cleaned up. The staff, you had a lot of people out there today. There was electrical work being done on one of the light posts. They were continuing the bump outs for the 5-way intersection, doing the work. I know Paul Frioli was out there at about, must have been about 11. Checking everything out. Amazing. They're really, kudos to them, the amount of work. We've talked about that intersection for a long time. It seems to be happening quickly all of a sudden. It's sort of funny that way. It looks great. It's a little concretey for me, a little too much concrete, but I've already gotten comments. But that said, I know it's going to look great when it's done, but most importantly, it's being done for safety reasons, ADA reasons. They were all out there today. There was even the folks trimming the trees back near Market Square, also working diligently to make the place look great for the summer and for the fair coming up and all that, and for the many events that we have. So just wanted to, I was going to text you, but I got busy with with a meeting, but it looked great. I was so proud. I'm like, and it's not easy to work out there today. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Thank you. I will pass that on to the staff. Everybody was busy today because again, the fair is going to be this weekend. We want to get everything in good shape, but the Five Corners intersection work is progressing exceptionally well. And again, one of the reasons really kind of making sure there's minimal disruption this weekend. So working every minute till this weekend. The concrete work is being done, as you mentioned, but they will be starting to plant the green areas. That will be underway as well. The signaling will be ready for installation in the fall, but basically all the work's going to be done. Other than the signaling, we're wrapping that up pretty soon. So it's going pretty well. And we will have green space too, in conjunction with the ADA accessible and a much safer intersection. We also went out to bid for James Street sidewalk repairs and streetscaping this week. And so that work will be being done over the summer too, and that streetscaping all along James Street from State Street to Route 9. And we will be paving in conjunction with that work. So that's another area that we'll be working on that's in the, in the same proximity of our downtown village area. And I'm happy to report that the work at our 16 Croton elevator is nearly complete. We should have an operational elevator within the next 2 weeks. We talked about the events, the village fair for sure, in addition to staff and elected officials being there to talk about the DRI projects. We also have members of the town and village environmental advisory committees there, and our recreation department will be there in full force with lots of family activities. And our next Transformational Thursday series, talking about the projects that we're doing, the many projects that we're doing in the village, is scheduled for tomorrow, Thursday, June 8th at 6 p.m. And this one will focus on Market Square improvements, and that's improvements to the outdoor space that we already belovedly call Market Square, and what that is going to look like for the future with input from the community. So thank you. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Great.
We're on vacation, didn't bring us anything back. We don't want to put you on the spot, village manager, but we're good. No, you actually, welcome back.
Thank you.
The staff was pretty amazing while you were away. So again, big shout out to them. Sue.
Okay, Corporation Counsel, Stuart Kahn.
Thank you, Sue. Good evening, folks. In addition to the public hearing that we just held, a few things on the agenda to just let the public know about. We're going to be referring a proposed text amendment. There's a resolution to refer a proposed text amendment regarding parking in 3 zoning districts, and that will go to the Planning Board and to the Westchester County Planning Board as required by statute. There's another resolution to extend the preferred developer status, as we've been talking about Market Square, and that would be for an additional 180 days. There is the adoption of Local Law 6, which is the open burning law in the village, which will make its return.
Ironic.
First time since 1974. It does not cover what is going on today, I should point out. Under new business, we're going to have some discussions with regard to some revisions to some of the local laws that the village has recently passed. They're minor revisions. One is based upon a recent change in state law. So we'll go over that as we get to it. And finally, there is a meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals this coming Tuesday night. It is, I believe, a pretty full agenda. And again, if anyone wants to watch, they can watch remotely. They can also attend the meeting in person at the Ossining Operations Center. Thank you, folks.
And next we have Captain Brendan Donahue for the chief.
Good evening, everybody. This past week, the chief, Lieutenant Majorana, new Lieutenant Majorana, and I attended the 155th Westchester County Police Academy graduation, where we had 2 officers who are currently in field training. That's Officer Christian Mesqueda and Officer Robert Kregier. Officer Kregier actually was awarded the Best Overall Recruit Award in the Academy. Pretty prestigious honor there. So
Impressive.
we're lucky to have him aboard, and they're learning the ropes right now from a couple of our most expert officers. Officer De Silva and Officer Schwartzman are getting them squared away. Our tactical officers partnered with Westchester County Police recently at Maryknoll to provide training in citizen response to active shooter events to help the staff and residents of Maryknoll feel safe and prepared should any kind of offense happen up there. That went very well. We're also obviously preparing for the many summer events we have coming up. The Village Fair, we're all ready for that. Processions, the Portuguese Fair, St. Anne's, St. Augustine's, obviously the Independence Day fireworks, which is always the big one, and getting everything and everyone prepared for that. Also, obviously, we continue to maintain vigilant traffic enforcement to keep everyone safe on the roads, as well as tackling all of the quality of life issues that are so important to all of our residents and so important to everyone here, I know, as well. And that is all I have to report, unless anyone has any questions.
I don't have questions, but at the next time that you guys do your administrative report, could, I, for one, would like to hear more about the mental health, the task force that we have in Austining. I find that a lot of our residents don't know very much about it. It's not that it hasn't been reported on, but it feels like we just need some, to say it more often. So if you could just add that as like something to discuss, what they've done in the past couple of months, where they're going, what the learnings are. I think the public, on the record would actually learn something and would think, I think people are interested in that topic.
Yeah, and they continue to expand their hours of operation as they staff up. So it's going very, very
Great.
well.
Great.
And we are using them far more than any other agency that they're interacting with. And we've got a great relationship with them. So I'll definitely bring some more next time.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, our organizational announcements. Announcements should be event-related only and should be no longer than 2 minutes in length. Do we have anyone that would like to do an organizational announcement?
I do not believe that the person that is in the gallery would like to. If you would, raise your hand, but I have a feeling this person does not.
Thank
Nope.
you.
Okay, thank you.
Public comment on agenda items. Visitors are accorded a 4-minute opportunity to address the board on any resolutions on the agenda. Do we have anyone that wishes to do that? Okay, moving on, visitor recognition. Visitors are accorded a 3-minute opportunity to address the board on issues not relating to the agenda, but the relevance and good and common good of the village. Do we have anybody that would like to do that this evening?
No,
Thank you. Village Board resolutions. Approval of minutes, May 17th, 2023. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Austining hereby approves the minutes of May 17th, 2003, regular meeting as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
second,
Any comments?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval minutes, May 24th, 2023, special meeting. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Austining hereby approves the minutes of the May 24th, 2023, special meeting as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
second,
Actually, I'm sorry, Sue, for the first one.
Yes.
I have to abstain because I was not part of that meeting.
So do I have
apologize.
someone else that can second that?
And I think
Second.
you and I weren't, Bob
Okay,
and I were
Dana.
not in our meeting, so it's just.
Oh, it was just 3. That's
Yeah.
right.
Dana or Omar can second though.
Yeah, well,
Oh, no, she needs a
So I,
first.
I move and then Dana seconds.
okay,
Okay, and then we should
Yeah.
vote.
so it'd be the 3 of you,
3 of us said yes and 2 abstentions.
2 abstentions. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of, we did this one, but I'll read it
Yeah,
again.
let's just-
Resolved that the Board of the Trustees of the Village of Austining hereby approves the special meetings of the May 24th special meeting as presented. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
second,
Any comments? Sue?
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone abstain? No, everybody was there? Okay. Approval of the voucher detail report, June 7th, 2023. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Austining hereby approves the voucher detail report dated June 7th, 2023 in the amount of $1,050,572.22.
So wait, it's 1 million. say it.
1,050,000. So it's 1,050,572.22.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any comments?
All in favor? Oh, sorry.
No comments.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Aye.
License agreement 201 to 20 and 205, not 2, but and 205 Main Street. Resolved that the following the Corporation Council of Village Managers authorized to sign a license agreement with Rippey Corporation and Ida
Zavarella.
Thank you, sir. The owners of 201 and 205 Main Street. Do I have a motion?
So move.
second,
All right.
Stuart, can you just enlighten us
Yeah.
here, please?
Yes, Mayor, these are similar to the license agreements the board previously approved with regard to the buildings that were previously in the dumpster program. And so some of these buildings need to encroach upon village property to place their dumpsters.
Did we discuss these?
Yeah,
last
this is
week?
in the
This is
upper
same one,
crescent.
right? That's the
Yeah.
upper, okay, so
Yeah.
that was the discussion last week.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm
Any-
sorry, Stuart, the survey was provided from all these properties?
Paul is in the process of obtaining a survey for all the properties
Was
as well as
The,
ours.
the work, at least in the other portion, has been completed, I believe. All this striped out. I saw the gates, the fences and
Yes,
stuff like
I
that.
know at 185 and 189, that work is done because I've spoken with Mr.
Great.
Salsiccia.
Thank you.
Things are already looking better very quickly.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions? Okay,
All
great.
in favor?
Aye.
Referral of proposed zoning text amendments to the planning board. Whereas the Board of Trustees is considering amendments to section 270-30 parking and loading regulations, including removing the authority of the planning board to grant a waiver for off-street parking requirements for certain constructions in the VC Village Center and the SP-N Station Plaza North and NC-2 Neighborhood Center 2 zoning districts, adopting revised off-street parking requirements in the aforementioned zoning districts, and authorizing the creation of a fee in lieu of parking fund for new and infill construction in the VC, SP-N and NC-2 zoning districts. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant with section 270-59 of the Village of Austin Code, the Board of Trustee refers the proposed zoning text amendments to the planning board. And for it be it further resolved that the planning board shall issue its report on the proposed text to the amendments up to the zoning code within 62 days of this referral. And should it be further,
That's it. You're
That's it.
okay.
do I have a motion?
So move. Second.
Any comments?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Extension of preferred developer status for the WBP Development LLC and St. Catherine Group for Main Street and Market Square parking lots. Whereas the Board of Trustees by resolution approved on November 2nd, 2022, authorized the village manager to enter into a letter of agreement distinguishing WBP Development LLC and St. Catherine Group, Inc. as the preferred developer for the village-owned property known as Main Street and Market Square parking lots. And whereas the first period of exclusivity for the preferred developer of the property ran 180 days to November 10th, 2022 to May 9th, 2023. And whereas the Village of Austin Board of Trustees, WBP Development LLC and St. Catherine's Group, Inc. wanted to extend the period of exclusivity for an additional 180 days to November 5th, 2023. Now therefore be it resolved that the period of exclusivity detailed in the November 8th, 2022 letter agreement is extended to November 5th, 2023. Do I have a
Guys-
motion or do I have something?
Do you guys have something?
I just, I just,
Karen, just let me know because I.
Yeah, so-
didn't realize
so I
it.
just want to, it's a little bit misleading because the parking lots, when we originally did the RFQ, we were looking at both the Market Square site and the
Right.
post office site. Subsequent to the RFQ, we decided that the developer would develop on the post office parking lots. I just want to make sure it's just a little misleading here. And it may be the parcels are right. It's just that we're saying Market Square. The market, I just want to clarify.
It's the two lots in the
Markets-
post office separate from the market square.
Right, and
is
I
what
don't know
you're
how many
saying.
sublots those are.
Mayor.
No,
in all
that's okay.
Honesty, this was from the original resolution, so I don't have the parcel numbers. If we have to, we'll have to put it off because I'll have to redo the resolution.
I'm sorry, I
I-
didn't catch
I-
that earlier.
was
Okay.
unaware because this was.
You
this-
actually don't know. The numbers may all be right, but the wording may be off.
Right.
But the wording is also from the original.
From the original.
So
So you want to
I
maybe
was
take
unaware.
this back and
We'll
look
have
at
to
it?
take it back. I was unaware that it had changed.
Right, well, none of us caught it, so what?
Did 180 days on that wording.
Well,
So-
Okay.
okay.
We will defer, we'll just make a motion to
Table the
table
resolution.
this and it'll come back on the 20.
So moved on that motion.
Sorry.
Second, to table.
You
this
guys
motion?
hear it up there?
So motion to table the resolution
We need to revisit it.
We
and,
can't
and
vote on it next week and then any sort of special thing. Ask to wait 2 weeks. We have to wait till.
We're noticing a special meeting and then we have to go through all of that. I think the easiest
Next
thing is
week.
just put it,
No?
No,
Oh, you want to
2
do it for
weeks.
2 weeks? I'm sorry.
just put it on for the 21st. I got to
Right,
clarify.
we'll make
this.
sure that the
Okay, we'll
parcel
look
lots are right.
We're in the middle of it though, so we have a motion, I think.
you have a motion to table,
Do we have a second?
trustee,
we
trustee
second.
Fritchie and trustee Casada was the second.
Okay,
All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Aye.
Done.
thank you.
Adoption of local law number 6, 2023, a local law adding chapter 96 open, burning, open of the Village of Austin Code. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Austin, the Village Board, has been considering the adoption of a proposed local law 2023 entitled the local law adding chapter 96 burning open to the village code. And whereas the public hearing was conducted on May 3rd, 2023 at 7:30 at the PM at the municipal building, 16 Croton Avenue, and via Zoom platform, affording members of the public the opportunity to be heard. And whereas the public hearing was closed on May 3rd, 2023, whereas there is no impediments of improving the proposed law, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Austin hereby adopts local law number 6-2023, a local law adding chapter 96 burning, open, and directs the said law to be filed and distributed in accordance with the applicable law. And be it further resolved that the local law shall become effective upon filing with the Secretary of State pursuant with the municipal home rule law. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Any comments?
This is a roll call vote. Trustee Fritchie,
Aye.
trustee White,
Aye.
trustee Casada,
aye.
deputy mayor Lopez,
Aye.
and Mayor Levin.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, continuing business of the board. Is there any continuing business of the board? No. New business of the board. Revision to chapter 250 of 416 Croton, open meetings law, village code section. Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
No. 250 is the first topic. So I thought-
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay,
Oh,
don't
I'm
worry.
sorry, because there was no word. Oh, I see. So, okay. There's no verbiage. So revision of chapter 250 to 16 Crooked Avenue. Sir?
Thank you, ma'am. Folks, I had sent a memo around on Monday with regard to this. This deals with the parking at 16 Croton. We have changed the parking, as you know, but as our assistant village manager pointed out, there were some gaps which we want to fill for our parking enforcement officer, for the court, and for the people who would use the parking. So what we've presented are essentially two concepts. And if the record can just show, Sue, that the deputy mayor has left the meeting so that the record's clear. So we have two possibilities. As it is right now, the 5 parking spaces as you
Hey,
enter,
Stuart, I don't know if you're on the microphone. Jesse, is he on the mic? Because, oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yes.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
the 5 parking spaces as you enter are now 1 hour parking, 8 A to 8 P, Monday through Friday. The remaining 30 spaces are all employee, 8 AM to 8 PM, Monday through Friday, except for those of us who get here early. And then Monday through Sunday, the 8 PM to 8 AM overnight parking is required, except as we have discussed, except for the 6 spaces that are adjacent to 12 Croton Avenue on the other side, on the westerly side. The gaps it leaves are this: we have the 5 spaces here. As I said, it's now 8 AM to 8 PM, Monday to Friday. The question is, Sundays, holidays, and at night. So one possibility is that you meter them 24/7, but you make it free on holidays. The other concept is that you continue 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and it's free at all other times. Noting that the other spaces just immediately to the right of those would require at night an overnight parking permit. So what you're basically doing is you're getting 5 free spaces and everything else would be overnight parking. So the first thing the board, we'd like to talk with the board about is what to do with those 5 spaces over there. And then we can talk about the 6 metered spaces and everything else. But first we have those spaces over there. This all plays in because then you have the remaining spaces, as I said, are currently 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. employee, 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Monday to Sunday overnight parking. So the question is, what do we want to do, on, any other times that might be applied there? For example, on weekends, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., what do we want to do? Do we want to keep it free parking where no one needs a permit whatsoever, which is what we do in many parts of the village? Trustee Fritchie, I didn't know if you were.
No, I'm just.
Okay, it's fine.
about
So that, no. So that's one thought as to what we do
That was
during
option A.
daytime. And then with regard to the 6 metered spaces, again, adjacent to 12, one concept is that they would be metered or hourly at all times, not being used as employee parking, free on holidays, or you just keep them 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., essentially as we've got now, and free at all other times, which would be during the day, on weekends, and free on holidays. So, and again, we want to do this because when our parking enforcement officers come or the police come and they see a car, we'd like to be able to say to them, it needs to be ticketed or it should not be ticketed. And we also want to be clear because if someone gets a ticket and it's not dealt with in the code, those tickets will get dismissed when we get into court. So that's, as we said, we presented 2 concepts as to what to do with those spaces. And we, wanted to discuss it with the board so that we could sort of clean this up as quickly as we can.
Okey dokey. Any thoughts?
These 5 here are 8 to 8.
8 to 8, 8 a to 8 p Monday through Friday.
Holidays.
Currently, there's no other restriction on them, right?
After 8 p.m., they're free.
For everybody,
At 8 p.m., they would be free until 8 a.m. the next morning, correct?
for everybody. My preference is to go and keep it that way. Fewer, and it's good that Sue is here. Why? Because there are events in the library that somebody uses. This is the overflow. If people park here because they live in the area, I mean, what's the downside of making it free from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m.? I don't.
The only difference is that when I get here in the morning, there are usually about 10 or 11 cars parked. If those spaces are then considered free, then the people who park would not need permits. So you're basically not permitting those spaces because they'll all move to
Right.
those. So that's just something to understand. I'm sure that's what folks will do. There are a few people who park here with commercial vehicles.
Right.
They're not permitted at any time.
So those people should be ticketed if they're here.
But we
with
have
commercial.
the captain here, so he,
Right, I mean, your folks need to know that. So how much of a problem is it for you and a couple of other, you come early too, don't you?
Mhm.
Like 7:30 or something? How much of a problem is that
oh,
realistic?
no. From my perspective, it's not a problem.
You've been okay. You've
As
been
I
okay?
said, we're
It's,
looking at a total of 35, 37 spaces. I've never had a problem. I mean, we're looking at maybe when I get here, 11 are being used.
Right, I'm just trying to find the most respectful, the easiest thing for everybody. This is not nickel and diming people. But that the employees who work, it's designed also for employees to have parking. And that there are 5 paid spots. So for me to remain that way seems, and I thought that was option A, because you gave us a matrix.
That was
right?
actually option B.
Was
which
it
is-
option B? I can't remember the
Option B was
matrix.
that they would remain metered as is and free at all other times.
I think that's what I was saying.
That's what you were saying. I'm just saying that's concept B.
Could they
Okay.
become, just curious, do you mind, Mayor, if I ask a question? Could they become overnight muni parking at night at that 8 o'clock turnoff
I
time?
think
Because
that-
if you,
That
you're-
was a discussion we had, and I guess theoretically you could add that to your.
so if they
inventory.
turned into everybody in this lot at night, because this is the problem, I'm looking for at enforcement too. So if everybody in this lot at night, A, no commercial vehicles, B, everybody should have a night muni parking pass to
Except
park
for
here,
the 6 over there, because they're hourly.
except for the
And they
6
go-
over
and they-
there.
And they go at night. In other words, they go 8P to 8A.
Yeah, they would, but 8P to 8A, they would be metered parking?
Yeah, they're hourly.
Okay.
Similar to that Quimby Street.
Yeah, right. But so, okay, so that would be the fairest to the people that already, because we have people that buy their night muni parking here, and then we have people that just park here. And that's a problem. We have a problem.
That
It's,
is a problem.
yeah.
I will agree with that.
Yeah.
With Sue.
There's no reason
I'm
that
not
that
sure if that
shouldn't.
was gonna be concept C. Sue, or a
No, but we
little-
can easily do that. All it is if what I'm understanding, Sue, is that basically 8A to 8P, Monday through Friday, it would be metered, hourly metered. 8P to 8A, I guess we could do it Monday to Sunday. It
Well,
could
because
be-
our
the
muni
other one
parking is,
Would
yeah,
be overnight.
should all the overnight should
Right.
be muni
The
parking.
only question then would be 8P to 8A to 8P weekends and holidays.
So, and that's what, because right now, if we're treating these the same as we will treat on Main Street, sure, we don't have, unless we decide to be free on holidays, it goes by resolution. We usually,
No, holiday, because we have, it's in the code that these are, we have.
I'm sorry,
we
sorry,
added to our
yes.
holidays.
that correct,
So you
sorry,
want to make
apologies.
it the same as.
Make that the
Main
same
Street.
as same as any other area within the village.
That's what Sue is saying too.
Yeah, keep it
And-
simple.
yeah.
And keep it consistent, because then it's easier for us to sell them. It's much easier for the police and the parking
Has to be
enforcement
consistent. We can't-
yeah, with other places too.
So just so I'm
But the
clear,
commercial, regardless. there shouldn't be any
Regardless,
commercial.
no.
And
and
any
I-
of the public lots.
No, and to Ms. Donnelly's point, if it's all overnight parking, it also is being utilized by our neighbors who live in this area and not by one nearby business who operates
Right.
late night hours.
Right.
okay, so holidays we've got wouldn't be.
Right.
Sundays, do we charge on the street?
Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays, no, but Saturdays, yes.
So Saturday, there would be.
It would be just like the downtown, right?
Then we'll
I
follow
think
it.
that the issue she was having.
The difference would be is the
You didn't mean
down.
Weekends, you meant Sundays and holidays.
That's what I said.
The difference would be that downtown on the meters, which I had to explain to, it seems like we had a rash of new residents come into downtown. That the meters, you cannot park overnight at the meters at this point. You have not done anything with that, which is good. But this would be a muni night passes, which is done by
Because
license plate
The whole
readers.
point is that it's consistent.
Yes,
And I think the only thing that threw people off was it's not weekends, it's just Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah.
And that makes it consistent. The commercial thing, we've had these conversations. You folks should know. And Stuart, we discussed commercial, so it's not just that you have commercial plates, correct?
That's correct. It need not be commercial plates. It could be.
A
It could be
wraparound.
a- It could be a wraparound vehicle. There are a number of, for example, taxis that park here overnight.
Mhm.
There are a couple of others. So those would be, the way we've defined commercial, those would be considered commercial vehicles.
Okay.
I'll clarify that
It's
with
not
our,
just as the VTL defines it.
understood, yeah, not just commercial registrations.
Right.
I'll clarify that. with our-
There's a number of businesses now, I guess it's become less expensive, that wrap their cars with whatever it is, landscaping, house services, medical, whatever, delivery. Those are commercial by our,
Understood.
okay, great.
So we've dealt with the
So you dealt
five.
with that, you got
So
that.
now we have the 6 that are against
Mhm.
12. Those are currently hourly, 8 PM to 8 AM, Monday through Sunday. So the question here is for Saturday and Sunday, And for holidays, if you want, they could be made hourly for Saturday. And then Sunday and holiday, you could,
Well, if you don't do Sunday, then after midnight on Saturday.
oh,
Yeah.
well, whatever.
You know,
I
you would
leave it up
have
to the
that,
board. I
yeah,
just want to,
yeah.
again, I just want to give clarification to the police and to the court and to me.
Isn't that what we do
Is it
everywhere
that, is
else?
the meters that are on the West Quimbley, okay, the 12-hour meters,
Right.
are they weekends too?
Yeah, they're
So,
24/7.
so I would make this 8 PM to 8 AM, 7 days a week.
But didn't Manny just go through the whole thing that we want to be consistent with like Main Street, et cetera?
But these are for these special metered parking spots over here
Yeah, but
on this side.
those are in a way, regardless of,
They're like, yeah,
you know,
they're
it's
more like
for
a
the
main-
business, it's for a business either around here. So those are pretty much used.
Yeah,
for-
it's
for that
different than
kind of
Quimby,
business.
which is a
Yeah,
different
it's more like
scenario.
for the, Quimby is more for the train
I,
station.
I understand that, but this business also stays
I-
open till 4 AM.
I
so-
understand, I
That's-
understand, but it's
yeah.
the same, I want to make sure regardless,
That's why I
again,
brought it up.
regardless of whoever owns that or the future owners of that in a way.
Or any
sure,
other
or any
different
other
owners.
business at that point. I
So
don't
then you
wanna
would say
penalize
it's
that.
Sunday is not, but
Correct.
Saturday
So that's,
is.
so you are correct. At 12:01, it becomes illegal, right? You were worried that, well, if you do that as Sunday, then at 1 a.m. on Saturday, it changed. I mean, it's Sunday. 1 a.m. is Sunday already, correct?
At 12:01 on Sunday morning, it's
Right.
Sunday. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So I think you have to make it equivalent to Main Street. Quimby is, I think.
I gotta
actually-
tell you, if they're already parked there, they're gonna be parked there.
That's
you know?
fine.
They already paid their meter, right?
Yeah, I think you have to keep it like Main Street. It's a business section. The Quimby thing that we did is really much more related to.
It is, but I
commuters.
was just trying to look
I
at it.
understand, but
Right.
that's why I was.
Open
We'll
mic.
keep with the Saturday, then Sunday
I
and
think we
holiday.
need to
Fine,
keep it that way.
got it.
It's consistent with that whole.
That's fine.
corridor.
And then last relates to the remaining 30, which 8 AM to 8 PM, Monday through Saturday, employee. That's been the case throughout.
Saturday?
No, well, it's Monday, excuse me, Monday through Friday.
Right.
Employee. The question for those spaces is daytime parking on weekends. Because, currently, there's no restriction.
Right.
So, and those are not currently set up to be metered, either under
Yep.
under the parking system, they certainly don't have meters. So the question for the board is, if you want to be consistent with Main Street, those would then have to be hourly or metered to some extent on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Currently, they're
The
nothing.
30 that are used by employees.
If there's 30, that would be 30, 30 other than the 5 and the 6. That's correct.
So that's from 8 AM to 8 PM.
8 AM to 8 PM, Monday to Saturday, correct.
What happens?
Monday to
8
Friday.
What happens 8 PM to 8 AM?
They are
It's
overnight-
Muni.
Overnight permit issued by the
So the
clerk.
permits, right?
Muni, yeah.
Okay.
But that's, but on Saturday and Sunday, 90%, 95% of the employees are not here.
Mm.
Right?
Right.
So you have the day, the 8 AM to the 8 PM on Friday and Saturday. Do we just leave it as open parking? Or do we, because it's not, it's such a, you can't sell a Muni thing just for the Saturday and Sunday. We don't, let's put it this way, we don't at this point.
You're talking about a large number of spaces because
Yeah.
that's 30.
And it does, to be honest with you, I come here on the weekends. I think it helps the little restaurants across the street. Because that's who you're.
What are you saying,
what are you
Sue?
suggesting?
It's
I've
like you
lost
just
the
leave
whole
it.
train of
So
leave it
if you
open?
leave it, yeah, so if you had a night Muni tag and you leave your car there at 8 o'clock on Friday night, you could actually stay there all weekend.
Yeah.
Which is the people that live in this building and the people that, we do have. So that, I don't see that as being a problem. I see a problem as we have to really enforce on the commercial.
We-
So, but if that's, if that's the case, then people that live there that have night parking can park there. No. And guess what? It's fluid. It can
They
change.
have guests, they'll have someplace to
Well,
park.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. If there's something
Huh.
at the library, people might park, might not, we don't know.
Well, when they would had a lot of the construction, they had special signage here. So, yeah,
So we're saying leave it as is.
yeah.
That's,
Which would mean that there would be no fee Monday, essentially Monday through Sunday.
No,
Would be no fee on weekends. No
On
fee
weekends.
No fee on
Well,
weekends.
holidays.
just Saturday and
Oh.
Sunday
Saturday, Sunday, holidays.
and holidays and federal, yeah,
it's fine.
and holidays that we,
For those 30 spots, that's fine.
I think that would help everybody across the board too,
I don't see a downside to that.
because we need the spots for the employees during the week, so,
We can, and
which
that-
we're very good at ticketing when.
and we'll revise
I've
that.
seen the
so
tickets.
Set it up. So that's fine. Thank
Right.
you. Got it.
Well, thank you for letting me participate.
Well, because you're actually involved.
I am
in-
the Muni lady and the Muni enforcer. We work well together. Okay, open meetings law, Village Code 57-3A.
You don't have to read. You don't have to read.
Oh,
all of it.
sir.
Folks, what this is the governor recently signed an amendment to the video conferencing, which if you remember, we did last year. Currently, if a member is disabled and wants to participate remotely, that member can, but that member cannot count towards a quorum. The amended legislation signed by the governor on May 3rd, which is in effect now, would allow boards that go by video conferencing to allow the disabled member to appear remotely and count towards a quorum. So as I said, currently they can't, now they would. Disability is specific. It is as defined in the executive law. It's a physical, mental, or medical impairment resulting from anatomical, physiological, genetic, or neurological conditions. Essentially, it's not just if you got a cold, but you have an actual reason that you are considered disabled. You could do the meeting remotely. This may be someone who has a long-term disability or obviously short-term as well, but in either event, they would count towards the quorum. If we wish to adopt this, if the board wants to adopt this, we would need to both revise the village code, which is chapter 57, as well as the procedure, which was adopted along with chapter 57. The change would simply be in line with the law signed by the
What
governor.
if we don't pass it?
Then the person who has a disability could appear remotely, but they cannot count towards a quorum.
Or vote.
They can vote, but they can't count towards a
So if we
quorum.
pass it,
If you're remote, you can vote. Those folks voted tonight.
that's what I'm
Oh,
saying. If
I
we-
understand that.
If we don't pass this, as an example for tonight, the two members of the board, if we do not pass this.
Right.
The two members of the board do or don't count towards the quorum as they do.
They do not count towards a quorum.
Okay, if we pass this, they would be able to.
No, because unless they have a disability.
Visibility. So it
Wha-
makes,
What's the hell's the difference? Whether
I
we
guess,
pass it or
I guess
not?
not just this
The di-
board,
the-
but
the-
if
The difference would be that if you only had two people here and you had one person remote
is
with a
the- that is the
disability,
divisi-
they would
exactly.
count, your meeting could continue.
So we're not, so let's
Okay.
say that in the future boards, on any board, I'm assuming planning board, zoning board,
Exactly.
anybody that is
No, I get that.
disabled, they'll be able to count at that point.
Right, otherwise they're not able to count. I think the whole thing is ridiculous because people should be allowed to do remote, whether they're disabled or not disabled. So I'm trying not to support this governor's mandate because I think it is going backwards 20 years. People should be allowed to come in remotely on boards. It's highly efficient and much more equitable to people, especially given the weather conditions. All right, so we have to not vote is actually worse than for this. To not support it is worse.
Correct.
Given the two scenarios. All right,
So we can, if the board
Okay.
is okay, we will just change that. And again, it does create the situation where, for example, if tonight and someone up
Right.
there had the disability and only two of you were here, we'd have three, we could continue the meeting.
I just,
But the law is, just so it's clear, trustee Fritchie, they don't count towards a quorum, they can vote.
I just
don't count
question the
towards a
fact that they
quorum,
could
but they can
have a
vote.
mental disability and count as a quorum.
Well, that's a different issue.
And I got,
yeah, good
I
point.
raised my eyebrow.
The definition of disability that's in the
Oh,
law.
my God.
That's the
What a
whole board.
ridiculous,
In any event,
what a
we'll
backward move.
work on that.
Okay, hopefully the
All right.
governor's staff is listening to our recorded message. Where I think we're going backwards in the use of technology versus forwards. Ridiculous. Okay, so we will vote.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Authorization assurance of request for proposals for architectural design and construction management service for the tri-modal transportation.
Multimodal.
I'm sorry, the multimodal. This, I shouldn't.
One would think there'd be a better name than that, but yes, multimodal transportation.
No, I
hub.
just called it try, and it could be like 100 different
Yeah,
things in
yeah,
there,
multi.
right? Should I continue reading, Sarah?
Please.
Yeah.
Whereas the Village of Austin has received a grant funding the Downtown Redevelopment Initiative, the DRI, and the Empire State Development, the ESD, and for the design and construction of the multimodal transportation hub at the village-owned surface parking lot at Brandith Street. And whereas the first step is the village to solicit creative proposals, competitive proposals of architecture and design of the structure as well as oversight during the construction period. Now therefore be it resolved that the village manager is authorized to issue a request for proposal RFP for architectural design and construction management services of the multimodal transportation hub.
No, no more acronyms, please.
Yeah,
So move.
Second.
Any comments?
Is it done?
I'm gonna actually be interested to see what the RFP looks like. That's because this is all new stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
all in
Okay.
favor? Oh, sorry.
Aye,
Okay, so that's 4 because
and we have one who's not here.
Yep. Deputy May not here. Okay. So I have an adjournment into advice of counsel.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's 4 of us. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. 8:25 PM. And it's been a pleasure. Stay safe, stay indoors, and I hope to see everyone at the village fair. Have a good evening.
Thank you.